Okay. So moving on to the next part. So we are done with the basic variances, ma. So moving on to the last and final topic in this particular discussion, that is the mixed variances. Sir, I'll only explain one mixed variance. The rest of the mixes you have to do. Okay. Material mixed variance, if I'm explaining, labor mixed variance and variable overheads mixed variances, so you have to split them and you have to do it. Same calculation, instead of quantity, you will take rate, you will take hours. Okay, that's the only difference, nothing more than that. Okay, so what are these mix and yield variances that we are going to talk about? Okay, look at this example, ma. See here, if I'm talking about material usage variance, how much material was supposed to be used versus how much material is actually used. You guys are telling me that is the difference, right? How much was supposed to be used versus how much is actually used. Okay, sir, wonderful. But what if my product has 5-6 raw materials? What if my product has 5 or 6 raw materials? Then what am I supposed to do? For each of them, will I calculate this variance? Yes, you can do that. But there is another problem with that, ma. The other problem that I have is basically, what if, oh my God, nice. Okay. What if I changed the mix of these particular elements? You know, raw material, I am using 3 raw materials, A, B, and C. I am using 3 raw materials. So according to my standard quantities, standard quantity usage of standard quantities, I am supposed to use, for A, I am supposed to say use, oh my God, okay. 2 kgs. B, I am supposed to mix 3 kgs, and C, I am supposed to add 1 kg, for example. What I did, total 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6 kgs. What I did is, actually, I changed this mix. This mix I changed, and I made it something like 3 kgs of A because it is a little bit cheaper. B, we used only 2 kgs because it's a little bit costlier. C, I used 1 kg. So total is still 6 kgs only. But we changed the mix of the composition of the materials that are used. Sir, labor also, skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled labor are there. I'm increasing the number of unskilled laborers and decreasing the number of skilled labor. So because of that, what will happen? My rate variance will be favorable, mix variance will be favorable, but the yield will be less. Think logically, ma. Labor are there. I am decreasing the number of skilled labor and increasing the number of unskilled labor. Because of this, what will happen? My mix variance will be favorable. Sir, why favorable? Because you are spending less. So mix, because of the changing the mix of the composition, you are getting favorable variance. But what will happen because of this? The yield variance will become unfavorable. They'll take more time to do the same product because they're unskilled. Efficiency is further split into 2 parts, mix and yield. You are understanding it now? Everybody confirm, please, very quickly. Guys, please quickly confirm in the chat section. If I'm talking about material quantity, yield is the efficiency levels, ma. Yield is basically how much time they are taking to produce the units. If I'm replacing, say, unskilled labor with the skilled labor, like skilled labor are replaced by unskilled labor, their yield is going to come down, their efficiency levels are going to come down, they're going to take more time, so we'll have unfavorable variance. Okay. So now let's see this. We are going to do this particular question, sir, without any further ado. Let me go very quickly to Excel and we'll go further. See, I'll tell you one very important, not, what do you call it? It's an experience of mine. So I was in Delhi for a faculty training program. I was training some MBA faculties on how to teach these concepts. Specifically, I was there on a two-day program for this particular paper, APM and PM basically. So I went to the PM faculty with 15 years of experience, the female faculty. She told me one thing, sir, I'm very good with the rest of the subjects. I'm fine with limiting factor analysis, CVP analysis, and all that stuff I'm very comfortable with. But in variance analysis, I have a problem with the mix and mixed variances part, and then the planning and controlling variances. Sorry, planning and performance variances. Yeah. So these two parts are a little bit confusing for me. So that are the two concepts which we are doing now. So pay attention here. Operational, that's performance. Operational and performance is the same thing, just terminology difference. Good, it's operational variance. Technical word is operational variance. You can proceed further. Let's go to Excel. So now let's see this. See, Pan Ocean Chemicals has one product which requires inputs from 3 types of materials to produce the batches of Synthon. Standard cost details for single batch are shown below. Okay, we have 3 types of material, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to take S1, S2, S3, and I'm going to write here standard. Okay, and I'm supposed to use quantity. What is the standard quantity of S1? 8, 5, and 3. 8, 5, and 3. So the total is 16 is the total. Okay, agreed, sir. So immediately what I'm going to do is very carefully, when you are doing on Excel, you can do this advantage. Excel is wonderful for various reasons, and this is one of the best one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate a percentage. Sir, why do you need percentage, sir? So that I can know the mix, proportion of the mix. So 8 by 16, that's 50%, 5 by 16, and 3 by 16. And I can change them to percentage symbol. Okay, so I have the percentages as well for my reference only. Okay, I'm keeping that aside. And then the rate, standard rate. Standard rate is given here. Price per kg is 30 cents, 50 cents, and 40 cents. 0.3, 0.5, 0.4. Okay, so the cost is gonna be 8 into 0.3, 5 into 0.5, and what? Sorry, yeah, and then 3 into 0.4. So per unit, my standard cost should be $6.1. Is it clear till now, everybody? Per unit, my standard material cost should be $6.1. Is it clear till here? Confirm in the chat, please. Confirm in the chat, please. Is it clear or not? $6.1. I hope everybody are clear. I am not able to get any responses in the chat section. $6.1 per unit is the material standard cost. I hope it is clear for you guys. I'm moving further. Okay. Chalo. So next one is that a standard loss of 10% of the inputs is expected. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So whatever raw material we are inputting into the system, 10% of that will be normal loss itself. Okay. And actual output was 15,408 kgs for the previous week. Okay. I'm going to write that aside somewhere. Actual quantity is how much? 15,408 is the actual quantity that has been used. Okay. Material. Okay. Details of the material used are given. Okay. Here I'm going to take the actuals. And I'm just going to copy this thing here, entire thing, and I'm going to paste here and change it to actual. And quantity consumed is 8284, then 7535, and 3334. Okay, 3334. Okay. Calculate the individual material mix and the yield and the total usage variance. Okay. So this is what has been given to us, ma. So I'm going to use the standard rates here. So I'm not going to change these things. Okay. Look at the percentages. This is what I want you to identify, ma. The percentages here. What happened is we are changing the mix of the raw materials. Agreed? We are changing the mix of the raw materials, because of which also there could be a potential difference. So now what I'm going to do is pay attention here. Actual quantity in standard mix. Sir, what? Actual quantity in a standard mix. Sir, by changing the mix, how much advantage did we get? That is what I'm going to figure out. Mix variance, actual quantity in standard mix. I'm going to do it here. Okay. So what are the actual quantity total? 19,153. So let me just do this. So had I not changed the mix percentages, if I did not change the mix percentages, it would be like this. Okay. If I did not change the mix percentages, same 19,153 kgs of raw material, instead of using in this mix, if I had used in the actual, standard mix of 50, 31 and 18, what should have been the quantities that should have been used? Okay, that is 19,153 into 50 percentage, 19,153 into 31.25%, 19,153 into 18.75%. So these are the materials which I should have used. Should have used. And what is the standard rate? We already know the standard rate, so I'm going to just copy that here. Now what is the cost? Okay, I'm just going to copy these things. Okay. Sir, is it clear till this point what I did the calculations? Everybody please confirm in the chat section. Till here, is the points, I mean, is the calculations that I did, is it clear or not? Sir, what I did is nothing but just the same actual quantity, 19,153 quantity only I used. But instead of mixing in this actual ratios, I'm mixing them in the standard ratio of 50:31:25 something. So by changing the mix, what happened to my cost? Actual quantity only, nothing I'm changing. Only by the actual quantities only, just by changing the mix. Okay, actual quantity in actual mix, cost is how much? 7,586. If I do it in the standard mix, my actual cost should have been 7,302 if I'm doing it in the standard mix. That means what is the mix variance here? By changing the mix, I had an adverse variance of 284. Adverse variance of 284, sir. You know why? Very simple, ma. No. Adverse variance or favorable variance? If we are mixing in the standard mix, we should have got 7,300. But it's a loss only because of increasing the material C. Because of increase in material C, we are getting this actual loss. Okay, that is adverse variance. No. No. Just a second, let me just check. Not because of C. (43 to 50%). So you have reduced the cheap material. Okay, they should have increased the cheap material, whereas they reduced the cheap material. Okay, see this one. Just I was interpreting the value. Look at this. S1 is the cheapest material. It is costing you only 0.3. S1 is the cheapest material that costs you only 0.3. Any person with common sense would actually increase the percentage of cheap material. But what these people did, they decreased it from 50% to 43%. They are using less proportion of the cheap material. Okay, and they're using more of the costly material. S2 is the costliest material, 0.5 it is. Instead of using only 31% as per the standard mix, they are using 39%. They are using more of the costly material and less of the cheap material. So that's why their mix variance is showing a adverse variance, because they were using more of cheap costly material and less of cheap material. But that should give them yield variance as a favorable. Because of this, I'm assuming that their yield variance is favorable, but we'll figure it out. So now the next step is to calculate the standard quantity for actual units. That's how I calculate, right? I calculate the yield as the difference between the standard and the actual. So here what I'll do, standard quantity for actual number of units in standard mix itself. So I'm just gonna do this now. That's very easy, and I don't think I need to spend more time on that. So here what I'll do, 15408 multiplied by 8 kgs. So per unit I need 8 kgs, 15408 units I produced. So I'm just gonna take this and keep it as an absolute reference and copy it down. So this is my actual units. This is my standard units, and I'm gonna use the same mix. Same mix I'm going to use. So I'm gonna just paste it here, and so it's gonna be yes. Okay, same mix we are using. So the total cost, standard cost total should have been 93,989. Okay, so my yield variance, YEILD, yield variance is nothing but the difference between, oh, why am I getting 93,000? Is that wrong or what? Is there something wrong here? Actual output was 15,408 kgs for the previous week. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is this not 8 kgs per unit of finished good then? I guess this is not the 8 kgs per unit of finished good. The question is not clear. This is not 8 kgs per unit of finished good. Okay, so we were able to produce 15,408 units of finished goods. Okay, cool. This is not actually the standard quantity per unit of finished good or something like that. They just gave you the standard mix, I guess, but they mentioned it as standard quantity. They should not have done that then. The 15,000 units, obviously it's going to be 1,23,000 units. It's not going to be 8,000 or 9,000. Okay, anyways, so for this particular situation, I'm going to do a different technique here. So please see, they gave you one line here. What did they tell you? A standard loss of 10% of the input is expected. So whatever input you are giving, in that 10% of that will be lost. So if I'm producing 15,408 kgs of finished good, what should be my input ma? Output is 15,408. Yeah, 15,408. So input, I don't know what is the input. If I keep 100% input, it's going to have a loss of 10% and it's going to generate an output of only 90%. So 90% is 15,408. So I need to understand what is the input that I am putting by 0.9. So that is 17,120 should be the standard input that is required. So in that 10% of that will be lost and we'll get 15,408. Okay. So that is what they are trying to tell you. So here I am supposed to take 17,120. That is the input that we are going to give. And now let me use this. This is a little tricky. I told you it's going to get tricky, but yeah, I did not expect it to go this like this. Yeah. Okay. Let me check the answer once. Test your understanding 11. What are these all now? Why is balance? Oh, I went to the next chapter. What is the test your understanding? 11, huh? Yeah, test your understanding 11. So here we are. Yes, okay. So standard mix is 853. 853, okay, this is all fine. So actual material usage 82847535 and triple 34, okay, 19153, that is clear. Actual usage at standard mix, this is what they are trying to tell you. 9577, yeah, 9577, 5985 and 3591. Yes, these figures are fine. And the mix variance is total 284.22. 284, that's absolutely fine, no problem with that. And then coming to the yield variance, so it is 775.08, 775.08. I don't know why I had to even check the answers, sir. See, there is, yeah, rarely do we make a mistake. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but yeah, anyways. So these are the details. So now let me explain you, sir, calculation is fine. Let me explain you the logic behind that, okay? What is the logic behind these numbers and what we need to do to understand this, okay? So first of all, please understand that when we are dealing with multiple items, the problem is basically we can change the composition, we can change the mix of the materials, mix of the labor, mix of the overheads to gain advantage or to have an adverse variances. So how much is it changing because of changing the mix of the elements, and how much is it because of actual efficiency levels? You know, this is a split up, this mix variance and yield variance are split up of the usage variance that we discussed earlier. Okay, see here material usage is there now. That is standard quantity and actual quantity, how much you should have used and how much you actually used. This usage is again split into mix and yield variances. Mix variance and yield variance. Now what is mix variance, ma? Actual quantity in standard mix. Okay, actual quantity only. I don't want to change the quantities and all. Actual quantity only. It should have been mixed in the standard composition minus actual quantity in actual mix. See here, what is the difference? Actual quantity only. Total is always actual quantity only. But what is the standard mix and what is the actual mix? By changing the mix of this at the standard rate, obviously at the standard rate, how much did we gain or loss? And yield variance is standard quantity in standard mix only. Standard quantity in actual mix kuch hota bhi nahi hai. Standard quantity minus actual quantity in standard mix ma. If I did not change the mixture, if I did not change the proposition, what should have been the standard quantities? What should have been the actual quantity? That difference is your actual efficiency of that particular material into the standard rate. Now are you able to understand, sir? Apply that for labor. It makes more sense for the labor. Try applying that for labor. Might makes much more sense when we do that for the labor. Let's see. See, labor efficiency variance is there. How good the labor are working. So I'm going to change it to make labor mix variance and labor yield variance. So mix variance is calculated as actual labor in actual mix and actual labor in standard mix. I'm going to change this to standard mix first because cost is always standard minus actual. Actual mix into actual rate, and yield is actual labor in standard mix. Sorry. Yeah, yield. I should know. Okay. Actual labor in standard mix minus yield should be standard. Okay. So standard labor in standard mix minus actual hours in actual mix. Yeah, that makes more sense. So I'm going to change this to actual hours into the standard rate. So look at this very carefully. Now you should be able to comprehend it much better. So mixture. By changing the labor mix, how much am I gaining or losing? That is calculated as the difference between the actual labor, actual hours. Actually, this is actual hours in standard mix and actual mix. What is the difference between that? To know whether the skilled labor, unskilled labor, and semi-skilled labor, the levels of the labor, whether they are efficient or not, whether they are productive or not, I should not consider the mix composition changes and all. Had they been allocated in the actual standard mixes, if the labor were actually taken in the actual mix, standard mix basis, what should have been the number of hours versus the actual hours that they spent? अगर स्टैंडर्ड मिक्स में मैं मिक्स किया होता तो कितना होना था versus the actuals. Is that clear, guys, now? But small mistake in material mix formula you wrote, isn't it AQ in AM? What did I write there? Acha, SQ I wrote. Okay, sorry sir, thank you for the correction. Mix is always for actual quantities only. Mix variance we always do for actuals only. Yields we will do for the standards. Thank you for the correction, ma. Thank you. Actual quantity in standard mix and actual quantity in actual mix. Actual quantities only. Here also actual hours. Yes, okay. Done with these variances. Okay. And also, sir, for your kind information, to be very honest with you guys, let me check whether that is covered for you in the syllabus or not. I don't care whether it is covered for you in the syllabus or not, but within labor, we have something else called idle time variance. I don't know if it is covered for you in the syllabus or not. I have to go through the entire textbook to figure that out. I mean, entire chapter to figure that out. Okay, I'm not going to do that, but covered. Okay, then we will also cover what is there in that. Okay, there is another variance. Labor efficiency is also determined by the number of hours they are spending idle, isn't it? Like if they are spending too much time idle, obviously the efficiency variance will take a hit. So here I'm going to take another one, that is idle time variance. Idle time is nothing but actual hours paid minus actual hours worked into the standard rate. And then these all will be the hours worked. That's it. So split the hours unworked into separately into the idle time, and बाकी जो भी है hours worked के हिसाब से we will allocate them. Standard hours worked नहीं होता है तो standard hours ही लिखते हैं उसको. Okay. Is that clear, everybody? Idle time variance is also clear. How much hours you are paying and how much hours they are actually working, and that difference is the this thing. Okay. I'm not going to wait for your confirmation, guys. We have only 10 minutes, so let me just wind it up. So last topic for us to discuss is controllable, uncontrollable variances, which I already explained to you previously while discussing the variable overheads thing. So some of the variables, some of the variances are uncontrollable. For example, material price variance is increased, okay, but the price variance is increased because of inflation in the market. You cannot control market inflation, so there is nothing we can do about that. So that such kind of things you'll have to, we call them as uncontrollable variances. Now the next and last part is all these variances, whether it is a material cost variance, material price variance, all that types of variances are split into two parts. What are those, sir? One is called planning variance, and the other one is called operational variance. Sir, as the name itself is very self-explanatory, planning variance is because of improper planning. Operational variance is because of improper implementation. If I'm talking about adverse, if I'm doing wrong planning, because of that also I can get variances. Operational also, if I'm not doing efficiently, then also I can get variances. So that is your last topic to be discussed. Other than the theory part, you can read the theory part later. See, ideal standard, current standard, attainable standards, these all we did in the first chapter. All nonsense only. So where are you? Come on. Yeah, planning and operational variances. I'll do only for one part. Material I'll do, remaining two you guys can do it later, right? For the rest of the things you can do later. So look at this question very quickly. We have only 8 minutes to do this. The standard cost per unit of raw material was estimated to be 5.2 per unit. Okay, I'm going to mark the question here. Standard rate is 5.2. Yeah, standard rate is 5.2. Then However, due to subsequent improvements in the technology, the general market price at the time of purchase was $5 per unit. Actual rate is equal to $5 per unit. Okay. The actual price paid was 5.1. Oh my God. Okay. Market rate was $5. Actual rate was $5.18. Okay. And 1,000 units of material is purchased. Okay. Quantity is actual quantity is equal to 1,000 units. Okay, sir. This is the information which is given to you. They're asking you what is the planning variance and what is the operational variance. Sir, itna literally it is, I'm able to see the numbers on the screen. I don't even need to understand the logic only. So easy to do. See here, what they're telling me, you budgeted that, you estimated the cost to be 5.2, but actually at the time of purchase, market price is only $5. Okay, so your planning problem, it was, what was the planning problem? 10,000 units or 1,000 units? Okay, 10,000. Okay, sir, as if it's going to make much of a difference to our answer. I mean, logic will be the same thing. Okay, but good. Anyways, thank you. Okay, planning variance. Sir, you budgeted that to be 5.2, whereas the market rate is only 5. Correct? So, $5.2 minus $5 into the 10,000 units. That means because of a improper budgeting system, you gave them a target of maximum $5.2 per unit, but whereas actually it is supposed to spend only $5. So because of that, you are going to get an favorable variance of how much? 0.2 into 10,000, $2,000. Huh? So this is a favorable variance. Sir, why favorable, ma? Why favorable? Sir, you should have given them. Oh. Okay, cool. No problem. Sir, you should have given them a target of 5, but you gave them a target of 5.2. You allowed them to spend more amounts. You allowed them to purchase at a higher price, giving them a budget higher than the supposed budget. So because of that, what will happen? Obviously, they'll get favorable variance. Sir, it is bad for the company. Absolutely bad for the company, ma. If you are getting a planning variance as a favorable in cost terms, this is bad for the company. Okay, please be very careful, ma. Just because it's favorable doesn't mean it is good variance, ma. It is bad for the company. You should have actually given a stricter budget. Okay, this, my dear friends, this 5 is called as revised budget or revised standard. Okay, so for your kind information, planning variance is the difference between the standard versus revised standard, and your operational variances are difference between the revised standard and the actual mark. Revised standard versus actual figures. That is your actual operational. So here what it should have been, $5 minus, actually they spent 5.18 into the 10,000 units. That means they have actually spent how much extra? Minus 1,800. Okay. So that is, you still have a favorable variance of 200, sir. This is what your figures show, but this is actually bad for your company, ma. That's what I told you. This is actually bad for your company, though it is showing a favorable variance. Ma, you should, okay, see logically, if you see here, in this case, as per market rate, you should have purchased at how much? $5. But how much did you purchase for? 5.18. So you are getting an minus 1,800 adverse variance, na? Okay. But what happens? You will compare this 5.18 with the budget of 5.2. You will not compare the actual market. Now what you will do, you will say that, sir, standard was 5.2. I spent it for 5.18. So I saved 0.2. So numerically speaking, it's a $200 saved, but actually it's not. It's $1,800 extra spent. You're able to understand it now? It's not actually favorable. It's actually because of $2,000 improper planning, an 1,800 loss is converted into 200 profit. Your books are showing, I mean, your cost records are showing 200 favorable because $2,000 you did wrong planning. Otherwise, it has to be actually minus 1,800. Got it? Cool, ma. So that is why I'm telling you, don't go by the numbers. Don't see plus number is favorable, minus number is adverse. Go in the, you'll directly go into crash, ma. This is absolutely wrong if you think like that. Okay, so like that only you'll have. Look at this question just very quickly. Standard hours per unit of production are 5 hours. Actual production for the period is 250 units. Actual hour worked at 1450. Standard rate was $10, but because of shortage of skilled labor, it has been necessary to use unskilled labor, and it is estimated that this will increase the time taken by 20%. Sir, self-explanatory na? Your original budget was 250 units into 5 hours. Original budget, original standard was 250 into 5. But what is the revised standard? 250 into 5 into 1.2. Sir, what is 1.2? 20% increment. So the difference between revised and budget and the revised, or else standard versus revised standard, will be the planning variance. Okay, and then the revised standard versus the actual 1450 hours will be the operational variance. Hope it is clear for you guys. Okay, so next after this, what do you have? Revising the budget. So actual versus revised is operational. Revised versus actual versus revised is operational. Revised versus original budget is planning variance. Okay, when should the budget be revised, sir? When there are unpredicted changes in the market, unexpected changes in the environment, or else your production process has changed or your production cycles have changed. We already discussed all of this in the budgeting chapter itself. Then this is all pure theory, ma. How does it work in the current manufacturing environment? So since we don't have any standard products anymore, like we don't have exactly the same product being produced again and again and again, and we don't have the same thing, so it's gonna change it. There is a lot of frequent changes in the process. So standard costs and standard analysis, variance analysis is not really possible in current market scenarios. Standard costs are becoming outdated very quickly because of environmental changes. Production is becoming automated, so labor variances is no more useful really because everything is automated. Ideal standards are used, but that is not the case. We should not be using ideal standards. JIT and TQM covered in APM syllabus, so don't worry about them. Continuous improvement should be there. This is again Kaizen costing covered in APM. Information is required for variance analysis. Too much of information is required. You have to monitor it. You keep on monitoring it again and again and again. And yeah, all that stuff is given.